once again to this channel. As I said, today we are looking at alkanes, and we are going to look at the meaning of alkanes into detail. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and then share to families and friends as well. So today we are going to look at alkanes, and as you can see, this mnemonic that I told you, we are going to use this mnemonic to help you in naming of alkanes. Very simple. I promise you that when we meet the next time, it's going to be very easy. Now we write met the earth proper, but pent hex het oct no. So it means if you have one carbon, if the carbon is one, this one the carbon is one, when the carbon is two, when the carbon is three, when we have 4 carbon, when you have 5 carbon, when you have 6 carbon, you have 7 carbon, you have 8 carbon, and you have 9 carbon. Is that okay? So now alkanes are also called paraffin, and we know their formula to be CnH2n plus 2, which means that for alkanes, if they tell you that if we have 3 carbon, what will be the formula? Now look at it. If we have 3 carbon, so I'm going to replace anywhere I have in this formula, anywhere I have n represent and anytime anywhere I have n, I'll put 3 there. So it means we are going to have this C3 H. Now be how many? The H will also be what? 3 times 2 give you 6 plus 2 is going to give you 8. So what will be the name? So this is going to be the compound. What will be going to be the name? If the carbon is 3, we say it start with prop, so the name is going to be propane. Now if this is propane, they can tell you to expand this structure. So this thing, I can rewrite this thing as well. There are 3 carbons, so 1 2 3. Then how many H do we have? We have 8 H. So H here, H here, H here, H here, H here, H here, and H here. So you see that this one, we call this one the open structure. So I can rewrite this thing again as well. CH3, CH2, CH3. Now let's take, what if they tell you the carbon is 5? When they tell you the carbon is 5, we have 5 carbon. It means our N is how many? It means our N is 5. So I'm going to write C, and the N here is now 5. We have 5 carbon. H now, 2 times 5 will give you 10 plus 2 is going to give you 12. So this is going to be the compound. What will be the name when you have 5 carbon? Made the earth proper, so pent. So the name is going to be pentane. Have you seen it? Pentane because having 5 carbon. Now if they said you draw a structure for this one, now I'm to draw the structure, so I can open the structure. So we have 5 carbons, so 1 2 3 4 5. Now how many H do we have? H here, H here, H here, H, 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 H. We have H here, we have H, H, and H. So this is the open structure. If you want to squeeze it, or you say condensed structure, I can say this C has how many H? 3H. This here also have how many H? 2H. This here has how many? 2H. This here has how many? 2H. And this here has how many? 3H. So there's the same way of writing pentane and propane. Have you seen it? So this is how, when they give you a compound, they tell you to name it propane. This propane, pentane. So if they say, now what if they give you a compound like C67H16? What's the name of this compound? The moment I've seen 7 here, 7 means it's what? Hept. 7 means here is hept. So because here is hept, I'm coming to write this particular place with what? Heptane. So the name is going to be heptane. Why are we calling heptane? Because it was 7 times 2 plus 2 without it, because of the 7 here. If they say write this one in the open structure, how will I put this in the open structure? We know the C is how many? C is 7. So 2 3 4 5 6 7. Then the H now. So you are going to have H, H here, H here, H, 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 H here. You are going to label H throughout. There's going to be H here, there's going to be H here, going to be H here, there's going to be H here, there's going to be H here. Have you seen it? So because it's 7 here, I'm going to call it heptane. Is that okay? So let's move on to the next section. All right, so now we know we learned about hydrocarbons. So we said hydrocarbons. For hydrocarbons, it contains hydrogen and carbon atom only. So for instance, if I have a compound, look at this particular compound, C, 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 C. Now, and you have to name this compound. You have H here, we 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 have H here. Now, what will be the name of this compound? Now, look at how many carbon we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we said if the carbons are 4, remember, it's bad. So the name is going to be butane. Why are we calling butane, not butane? Because it's only single bond. So you have you seen it? This is butane. But this is a hydrocarbon. Why are we calling the hydrocarbon? It contains hydrogen and carbon atom only. Have you seen it? Now, there are instances where this can be replaced. This particular compound here. Let's say we have it this way. We have this with C, 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 C. Then we have H, H, H here. We have 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 H. We have H. We have H. Now, if this one is replaced with a compound, let's say Cl, and then we have this to replace by CH3. Now we will call this particular one a substituent, like substitution. Substitution is replacing hydrogen. So anytime you have a compound, 1 or 2 atoms replacing hydrogen atom, we say that one become a substituent. So this one is also what? A substituent, because it is replacing hydrogen atom. So these two are called substituent. We call them substituent. Substituent. So substituent is an atom or group of atoms replacing what? Replacing hydrogen atom. So that becomes what? A substituent. And if this is a substituent, let's look at substitution now. So these are substituent. So these substituents now, we group them into 2 types of substituents. We'll have the organic substituent, and we'll have the inorganic substituent. Inorganic substituent. We have organic substituent and inorganic substituent. Let's now dive more into the substituent. Alright, so the substituent, we have inorganic and we have organic substituent. So anytime chlorine is replacing hydrogen atom, we'll call chlorine chloro. If it is fluorine, we call it fluoro. If it's iodine, we call it iodo. This one becomes amino and this nitro. Is that okay? So anytime we have this replacing or substituting hydrogen atom, chlorine will now be called chlorose chlorine. Fluorine will now be called this one, so fluoro. So these are inorganic substituent. But for organic substituent, remember organic, because it contains hydrogen and carbon. Organic substituent, when we have this thing replacing hydrogen, all of this replacing hydrogen, is we call methyl, not methane. Look at it, YL. YL means that you are a substituent. So CH3 now, because there's only one C, and if the carbon is 1, we said it's meth. So this becomes methyl. Methyl to tell you it's a substituent. And this one, there are 2 C, so made the eth. So it becomes ethyl, because it is a substituent. And this one becomes propyl, and these are organic substituents. Let's see how we use this one shortly. Alright, so this is a mnemonic I want you to use when you are going to name a compound like this. If they give you a very broad compound like this, don't worry, don't panic. Now this is what you are going to do. This is a mnemonic. No circle, choose alphabet. I hope it's very simple for you to remember. No circle, choose alphabet. No circle, choose alphabet. If there is no circle, choose alphabet. Now the no here means that number. Then you circle, you choose based on alphabetical order. So this is a compound. The first thing to do is that you are numbering the carbon. Number left and right. Then you clean. Please don't forget. Number left and right. You are numbering to have the highest number. So this carbon, let me number it from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When you're done, you go opposite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Have you seen I've numbered? After numbering, they say no circle. So I'll go around. If there is anything that is no hydrogen, I'll circle it. So I'm going around. Whatever that is no hydrogen, I'll circle. This is no hydrogen, so I'll circle it. I'm going around again. This is also no hydrogen. I'll circle it. I'll go around again. This is no hydrogen, Cl. I'll circle it, and so that's all. Good. After I'm done, then I'm not going to label it now. So you are not done. You choose, and then you are going to choose, and then you label now. Now for you to choose, we have, look at the things you have circled so that you choose one of the numbers. Remember, you have 1 to 6 at the top, 1 to 6 at the down. So which of the numbers will you use? You cannot use the two numbers. You will clean one of them, but you have to choose which of them to clean and which of them to use. So this is what you have to look at. Now if you want to choose, look at the things alphabetically. This Fl, which is fluorine, fluoro, and this chlorine. F and C, which of them comes before the other? C comes before F, so it means give C. C should take the smallest number. Look at it. We want the smallest number. This is C, so look at it. We have F, and we have C, alphabetical order. So now, which of them will you choose? Which of them come before the other? C and F, which of them come? C come before F. It means that I'm going to give priority to C, so we are going to use C. C is going to choose for us. So it's C that we're going to choose for us. Why is C choosing for us? Because C comes before F. Now if C is to choose between 2 and 5, always want the smallest number. So 2 and 5, which of them is the smallest number? We always choose the smallest number. So 2 and 5, which of them is the smallest number? 2. So it means I like the 2. 2 is at the down, so I'll clean all the top one. 6, I'll clean all the 6. Good. So these are the numbers we're going to use. Good. Now we can now label now. So how many carbon do we have? We have 6 of them. So 6 is what? Made the earth proper, but hex. So it's going to be hexane. Look how I'm writing it. Hexane. Hexane. Now, how many? Which of them come together? Cl. Cl is on number 2. So 2. 2 chloro. 2 chloro. Have you seen it? Then I'll put. They are going to label the fluorine. The fluorine. How many are there? There are 2 of them. So they are number 5 and number 3. Have you seen the 5 and number 3? So I write 2 chloro, 3, 5 fluoro. No. We have 2 chloro. It means that chlorine is on number 2. That's why 2 chloro. Then the fluorine and fluorine, they are number 5 and number 3. So 3, 5 di, because there are 2 of them. Difluorohexane. So this is going to be the name. We could do all these names. So we said 2 chloro, 3, 5 difluorohexane. Let's go over again. No circle. So first of all, number top and right, the top and then the down. Then I circle anything that is no hydrogen. Then I'm to choose. Choosing means that you look at the in alphabetical order, you choose in alphabetical order C and F. So I'm going to choose C. Now C is also going to choose. Within 5 and 2, we choose 2 because 2 is the smallest number. We always want to choose the smallest number. And so 2 is the smallest number instead of 5 and 2. So we are choosing the down number instead of the top number. And so chlorine is on number 2. So it becomes 2 chloro. Chlorine number 2. Then we have fluorine and fluorine on number 3 and 5. So we say 3 and 5 are fluorine. So but there are 2 of them. So 3, 5 difluorohexane. Why do I have hexane here? Because the highest carbon is number 6. Let's take other examples as well. Alright, so now look at this compound. You have to name this compound. Remember, no circle, choose alphabet. No circle, choose alphabet. So no means I'll number the carbon. So I'm going to number the carbon. 1. So we're having 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the highest carbon. The carbon here, there are only 4. I'm going to go opposite. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I've finished numbering. What's the next thing to do? Circle. Go around anything that is no hydrogen, circle it. So here there's this no hydrogen, so I'll circle it. I'm going around. This also no hydrogen, so I'll circle it. Go around. I think these are only 2 things that are no hydrogen. Now I've finished circling. They say choose alphabet. So now I'm going to choose. Remember, we can't write the 2 numbers. We cannot use 2 numbers. I think we cannot use the top numbers and the down numbers. We only have to use one. So choose. If I want to choose the numbers, which of them will I use? You don't just go and decide any of them. For you to decide a number to use, check alphabetical order. C, L, and B. Which of them comes before the other? B comes before C, L. So it means B is the one going to choose for us. So if B is going to choose for us, B is the one going to make the choice. B is the one going to make the choice because B comes before C. Remember, firstborn, your elder brother will choose before you, so B will choose before C. Now if B is to choose, I told you that it chooses the smallest number. It chooses the smallest number. So 4 and 1, which of them is the smallest number? It is 1. It is 1. So because 1 is the smallest number, B will choose the down numbers, because 1 between 4 and 1. For B, 4 and 1, which of them is the smallest number? 1. So it's going to choose the smallest number, which is 1. So I'll clean the top one, because 1 is the smallest number for B, because B is the one choosing, because it comes alphabetically. So I'm going to clean this one, clean this one, clean this one, and clean this one. Now we can only use the down numbers. Why we use the numbers? Because B is the one choosing, and choose the smallest number, because 1 is the smallest number for B. Now to name this compound now, what's the highest number you've written? 4. And if the carbon is 4, what do we call it? 4. We call it butane. Remember, butane. If you look at up here, you will see butane. Butane means there are 4 carbon. So there are 4 carbon, we call it but. So that's how you come here, we look at it as butane. Now we name butane now. Now if you are going to label now, alphabetical order, B will come before C. So B is on number 1. So you write 1, and how this, if it's B, I call it bromo, right? So 1 bromo, we call bromine, bromine to be what? Bromo, is that okay? 1 bromo, because it's on number 1. Then chlorine is on number what? Number 3. So 1 bromo, 3 chlorobutane. Have you seen it? 1 bromo, like bromine is on number 1, 3 chlorobutane. 1 bromo, 3 chlorobutane. Let's take other examples as well. So you see this compound, we have to name this compound. No circle, choose alphabet. So I'm going to number it left and right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You can still choose to number from the down and number the top. It doesn't matter. 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going opposite from that same this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's the highest or the longest parent chain. Now after I've numbered, what do you go? Circle, no circle. So we are going around anything that is no hydrogen, will circle it. This no hydrogen, will circle it. We'll circle this one too. Because chlorine is no hydrogen. Fluorine, I think it's FL. So fluorine here, because fluorine here is not this thing, we'll circle that one too. Is that okay? Then we'll go around again. This bromine, we'll circle this one too. Now if we have that of the fluorine here, what do we do? Now that we circled, we are going to choose. Which of the numbers should we choose now? Should it be the top one or the down one? Now that choice lies in alphabetical order. So we have B, we have C, and we have F. Which of them, in arranging alphabetical order, which of them come first? We have the B's out the side. So B now, let's take one of the B. We have one of B on the 2, we have one of the B on 4. So B now is to choose between 2 and 6. Which of them will B choose? B will definitely choose 2, because 2 is the smallest number. It's like grade 1 and grade 6. If you get, yeah, so I'll definitely choose the smallest grade 1 instead of choosing 2. Instead of choosing B2, I can choose A1. So 2 and 6, B will choose 2. So since B here is deciding to choose 2, we are going to clean the down one, because the 2 is at the top. So we are going to clean the down one so that it will favor that of our B. Now we have now chosen the number now, so we can now name it alphabetically, in alphabetical order. So B now, how many of the B do we have? We have 2 of the B, so they are number 2 and number 4. So I'll write 2, 4 bromo. Have you seen it? 2, 4, and there are 2, so I'll write 2, 4 dibromo. Means we have 2 of the bromo, dibromo. On number 2, 4 dibromo. 2 and number 4, that's a position. 2 and 4, and we have dibromo. Dibromo to tell us we have 2 bromine. 2, 4 dibromo. Now which of them have we circled? We have to name it chlorine. Circle C. Chlorine is on number 3, so write 3 chloro. 3 chloro. We've named this one already. Now we have F that we have to label. F is on number 5, so write 5 fluoro. 5 fluoro. 5 fluoro. 5 fluoro. Now you finish labeling all these ones. Now let's get the highest number, which is 7. So that's the main thing now. That's the main thing. So since it's 7, You say if the carbon is 7, if the carbon is not 7, we'll call it heptane. So 7, so add that one to the name, becomes heptane, heptane, heptane. So this is the name for this compound: 2,4-dibromo, 3-chloro, 5-fluoro, heptane. And so this is the name for this compound. Remember, no cycle, choose alphabet. Alright, so yeah, so no cycle, choose alphabet. So we are going to number first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now 1, 3, 4, 5. Or somebody can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anyhow you number the carbon. So if I've numbered it, we just want to get the highest. So somebody can do 1, 3, 4, 5. Do the same thing in the opposite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do you do after you've numbered? You circle. So I'll go around. This is no hydrogen. This here is also no hydrogen. Me only hydrogen standing alone. This here 3, so I'll circle it. We want to see only hydrogen here, but this here 3, so I'll circle it, and that's it. After a circle, we are going to choose. Now this is bromine, which is bromo. This is, I told you, if it's 1 carbon here, you can methyl. And if this is methyl, alright, so this is methyl, this is bromine. But if you have inorganic and organic, you give preference to the inorganic first. Even though this is this CH3, anytime you have C and H, you give preference to the inorganic first. So the inorganic, which is bromine now, is on number 2 and 4. 2 and 4, which of them will you choose? I'll definitely choose 2. So I'll clean the down one. Now let's now label or name the compound based on what you have circled. So bromine is on number 2, so write 2-bromo. 2-bromo. Now this one become what? How many carbon? Only 1 carbon. So become met. We met. So become methyl. So methyl is on number what? Number 4. So 4-methyl. 4-methyl. Why am I writing 4-methyl? Because this is methyl. Assume the carbon here is to become ethyl. Methyl, you add YL. YL means it is a substituent. It's something you have circled. And why write met? Because it's 1 carbon. So 4-methyl. So 2-bromo, 4-methyl. What's the highest number here? The number here is 5. So become pentane. Pentane when the carbon is 5. So 2-bromo, 4-methyl, pentane. Pentane. Have you seen it? So this is how we name organic and inorganic substitute. Let's take the last example when we have inorganic and organic substitute. Alright, so let's name this compound. No cycle, choose alphabet. So I'm going to number, which is going to be 1, 2, 3. If I go here, it becomes 4, which is 4 is smaller. 4. If somebody chooses to go at 5, this is 6. So this is going to be the longest. If somebody go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's only 4, 5. So this is going to be the longest carbon chain. So I'll go opposite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that you've finished every cycle, I'll go around. Whatever there is no hydrogen, I'll circle it. This is no hydrogen, I'll circle it. I'll go around. This is no hydrogen, so I'll circle it. This is also no hydrogen, I'll circle it. Chlorine is also no hydrogen, I'll circle it. Now, we are now to decide which of the numbers to use. This is chlorine, and chlorine is inorganic because there is no H. Inorganic is the boss over organic. Inorganic, this chlorine, this is organic. The rest are organic, but this is inorganic. So inorganic will choose for you. When you have organic and inorganic will choose for you. So chlorine now has to choose between 1 and 6. Which of them will chlorine choose? Chlorine definitely choose 1 because 1 is the smallest. Always want to choose the smallest number. So I'm going to claim this one, the down one, because the top one for chlorine is the smallest. Now let's now name this compound. So I'm having chlorine here, which is going to be 1-chloro. That chlorine is on number 1, so 1-chloro, 1-chloro. Now this is, can you see these are the same? They are methyl, and this is ethyl. Ethyl means when you have 2 carbons, when you have the carbon to be 2, become earth. We made the earth. If you can see from here, when the carbons are 2, have you seen it? When the carbons are 2, it become earth. So these are carbon, earth, ethyl, and this will become, because the carbon is one, become methyl. This is ethyl, this methyl. Why we calling this one ethyl? Because the carbons are 2. Assume the carbons are 3, make the earth proper, it become proper. Assume the carbons are 1, become 1. So this methyl and ethyl. So methyl and ethyl, which of them come? E come before N, right? So ethyl is on number 3, so right? 3 3 ethyl, 3 ethyl. Now methyl, where are they? Where can we find the methyl? This is methyl, so we are done naming this one. We are done with this one, so we now have methyl, methyl number 2 and 3, right? So I'll write 2, 3, because they are number 2 and number 3, they are all methyl. 2, 3, di. Di means there are 2 of them. 2, 3, di, methyl. What's the highest number? When you finish naming what you have circled, tell us the highest number, the name for the highest number, which is 6. So if 6 become hexane. Hexane. So this is the name for this particular compound. 1 chloro, 3 ethyl, 2, 3 dimethyl hexane. I'll give an exercise to try and see if you can be able to name a compound on your own. Thank you for following to this time. So try and name this compound. So this is a compound. Look at the compound very well. If it is 2 become di. Assuming you're having, let's say, if I have 2 of the chlorine, become dichloro. Maybe having chlorine, 2 of them become dichloro. If it's 3 of the chlorine, become trichloro. If it is 4, become tetra. So if I have 2 of the saturated become di, 3 of the saturated become tri, 4 of the saturated become tetra. Is that okay? So assuming you have chlorine, 5 of them, 4 of them become tetrachloro. If you have 2 of the chlorine, become dichloro. If you have 3 of them, become trichloro. So look at the exercise very well, and then you try and name the compound. Name this compound, these organic compounds. Alright, thank you so much for following to this time. You have the nice of time.